This is the Sports Hit List. By the fans, for the fans.
The entire Cena versus Cody's feud and storyline, is that something that we're really intrigued about? I mean, Cena comes in, he cuts his promos. I don't know if there's something missing there. After Cena turned heel, like his first few set of promos were okay. Now I kind of feel like we're at a standstill with it. And that's just me. And I'm waiting for that upper next moment. I mean, TK and I have discussed it. I said Cena should win it. Mike, what are your thoughts with the Cena feud and Cody?
No, Cena shouldn't win it. It's okay. What we saw the week prior, right? Cool. That's a different side of Cena. This week it felt kind of like he's copy and paste, just in a different town. Next week I think it's gonna kind of be the same thing, and then he's going away. So this is that's a problem. I mean, yeah, sure, it's still gonna be a draw, but at the same time, if I'm Triple H, and I'm thinking to myself, right, am I really satisfying the fans? Because like I said, social media is playing a huge part in it. And he's looking at the comments and he's probably thinking, maybe they're not as satisfied with this match as I thought they would. And part of the reason, and guys, I'm just thinking outside the box, is because Mania is so far away. So just think about this. What if Mania, were next weekend or the weekend, after? Cena could just make his last appearance and be like, all right, heading on to Mania. That's it. But no, we still have another 2 weeks. So what is Cody going to do for those next two weeks? You can only cut promos to yourself, for so long. And at the same one, oh, I know I have to win. It's for my dad. It's for this and that. And then it's like, all right, we get it, man. Now where's Cena or The Rock, who they haven't mentioned. Those are the little things that I don't know. But I'm still going to watch it. It's just the Mania gap in between is really kind of killing it right now. At least my opinion.
Mike, I think you make some excellent points, and I wholeheartedly agree 1,000%. And you don't even have to say you're going to watch, because we're diehards. We watch whatever they give us, right?
Yeah,
we're going to tune in every single week, right? But I wholeheartedly agree. I think, first of all, when they moved Mania to middle of the week, middle of the month, that irked me from the beginning. Like, once I saw the date, I was like, what are we doing? Mania has always been either the last week of March, first weekend in April. That's always been the staple. That's always been the standard. I understand, but maybe it's because I hate change, but it throws me off. And we kind of, for me, maybe I've noticed it, or I'm making a point to notice it, that there is a longer build, because I'm like, wait a minute, we should be having Mania next weekend, but now we got to wait. And I understand, because you have the Final Four and you don't want the weekends to clash, and you want to be able to get all your eyes on your product that weekend. You want it to be solely yours. I get all that. But there's just something about the first weekend in April. We always know that's when Mania is. Now we're looking at April 20th. And to your point, that's where the feud lost me. After Cena made his initial promo coming out and saying why he did what he did, the last weekends really didn't draw me. It was kind of just like, okay, I get it. And you're right. The Rock hasn't been mentioned at all. We thought The Rock was behind the whole thing, but he hasn't even mentioned The Rock. So, TK, what are your thoughts? What do you think here?
I think I agree with you wholeheartedly about the fact of being later. I know one of the reasons they said they were doing that is because they want the warmer weather. They want to do more outdoor, kind of northern stadiums. They did MetLife a couple of years and it's been like 40 degrees, so I'm not sure what an extra 2 weeks will do. Maybe they'll get lucky, but you do feel that kind of lapse, because when January hits, even though they didn't do the Royal Rumble till February this year, when January hits, you're in like, okay, it's January, it's Royal Rumble, it's WrestleMania season. And I mean, you look at WrestleMania 20, they had that at March 17th, Now
Yes.
it's going to be over a full month later, 20 years later, it just keeps getting moved further and further back. And you have to do things to prolong these feuds. And Triple H does the best job he can. He'll focus on one feud 1 week and then transfer and up and down and stuff. But I think they will have a couple more curveballs with this Cody Cena feud. That's their main feud. I don't see Cena winning. I think Cody retains. I don't think you turn the guy with a heart of gold bad and have it work out for him. Mr. Hustle, loyalty, respect is going to finally learn that, when you go to the dark side, you don't get to be, Superman anymore. So I think Cody will beat him in what hopefully is an epic main event. But I do feel like it's been lacking something. There should be a little bit more. Cena needs that, last year Rock beating Cody down outside the bus in the rain moment. He needs something that's kind of he had that super violent attack on him first, but since then it's been more of he's been mad at the fans, which feels like 10 years too late. and I kind of want him to kind of bring that back in and focus that in on Cody, and have Cody be his outlet for his rage and anger at the fans, not just kind of diss them, and have Cody come out and defend them, and then have Cody come out and, like you said, talk to the Invisible Man for the next 2 weeks. Even though Cena's not really advertised, I think he has to make some surprises, and I think they need at least 1 or 2 more big angles. Maybe Travis Scott can come in and give Cody another black eye.
Oh no, I want that receipt. I want that receipt so badly.
I know a lot of people didn't like Travis Scott in the segment there.
You just looked in the wrong place in the wrong time. He's just standing there. He didn't know what to do. It was terrible. It was terrible. TK, don't try to listen. My wife. Listen, my wife
just remind me
says,
of Dennis Rodman in the NWO.
My wife always says, "Don't pee on me and tell me it's rain." To quote her, listen, don't sit here and tell me that you loved watching Travis Scott just stand there. And it was terrible.
Hey, look.
It's one of those things. Guy. Oh, sorry, Mike.
Sorry, it's okay. Look. This is the way I saw it. All right. Look, I'm a skinny guy. All right. No big deal. Whatever. At least I still have some build. Travis is he's right next to 2 guys that are 230 pounds. All muscular, and then he's just holding on to a fake championship. Yeah. What's up?
It just didn't look right. At least with Dennis Rodman was able to sell it a little bit better.
And he's
Carmelo, I'll take
basketball guy, so 6 foot, ridiculous,
Yeah, right. To me, it was a matter of the selling point. It just didn't look right. But like I said, there's something missing. Maybe we'll get it as we get closer as far as what's going to happen. And I'm going to say this: as much as you say, Superman, going dark. Listen, Lex Luthor always found a way to poke at Superman, and he got his moments in there. So Cena's going to win. I'm sticking by it. I could be wrong, and there are times when I'm wrong. I'm going Cena wins, and I think as much as we're going to get, maybe Punk gets his moment on Saturday night, Sunday night, like I said, there has to be a moment where we don't go home happy. We can't always go home happy. There has to be that moment.
What would that moment be, though? What would
Cena winning the title.
Well, you're going to do that with Flair there, with Ric Flair there?
Who cares? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything?
He's made it clear that he would love it.
And you know what? I'm glad that you said that, though. You said with Flair sitting there, that's the perfect way for him to be like, you know what, Flair, F you. Sorry, I got the 17 now. Goodbye. My name is in the history books. That's the perfect way to book it, if that was me. But again, what do I know? I'm just saying.
See, for me, I want to see him. I think should be his loss here. Should be part of his redemption to coming back to being a face, to retiring and winning his last title at the end of the year as a face. Finally, realizing that he can't, go against his morals and still be successful. But Carl, if he does win at WrestleMania, it'll be a hell of a year. Watch people try to get that title away from him. It'll be a lot of fun. Who can beat Cena, or will he walk away at the end of the year with the title? There is a lot of drama there.
The only thing I would say, right. But the only thing I would say is if he does win it, that means he can't be. And with this schedule, he can't be full time, so he's going to either pull a Brock and appear at your biggest pay per views, and then that kind of takes away from your championship in a sense.
That's what you're signing up for if you want him to win, though. That's why I don't want him to win.
I know, but I guess I would be contradicting myself because I hated when Brock did it. I would completely hate for him to just disappear and then come back for SummerSlam and the main events. But I would understand given the context, and we've had a good run with Cody as champ. Roman did it, right? Roman kind of was a part-time champ, but I don't know. That's where I kind of get conflicted with. I want Cena to win, but then I also don't want a part-time champ.
But the thing about Roman is that, and they were, and I listen to podcasters, wrestling podcasters, and it all makes sense. With Roman, they were trying to treat him like a hot commodity, like a world champ, like a real, world champion. Notice UFC fighters, MMA and boxers, they only come and defend the belt 3 times a year, at best. So that's what they were trying to do. And if you try to do that, then you're making him a draw, and it worked. But
even with Cody's title run, though, Cody really didn't defend. I mean, he was present on shows, but as far as title defenses, he didn't defend the title. You could probably go to the list of defenders he had within the year. He didn't have a lot. He had AJ Styles, he had Solo, he had a couple. He had I think Kevin Owens, right? So it approximately about the same amount. He just made more appearances with the championship. So I think again,
Sorry, Carl, but there was something that I'm going to forget if I don't bring it up. You said something around the lines of Cena winning would be okay. We can't be happy, so and so.
Yeah.
I could see where you're coming from. That yes, we can't be happy. I think they're going to want that gas moment because we have had that. We had that happen. The moment in which the whole state, TK, you were at a Mania, right?
Yeah.
Isn't there a moment like at a main event within the past 3 years in which you could just hear a pin drop because they can't believe what just happened? You know,
Yeah, it was 39 when Cody lost.
when Cody
and no
lost,
one believed that.
you could
Yeah,
just
Hollywood.
see.
that'd be the one. That'd be the
Yeah,
one.
no one thought that was going to happen. But like I said, those are the moments that make you look back and be like, even though you hated it, you're kind of like, all right, like this is what like it's the unexpected. Like we all used to say in wrestling, when we see it coming, we're kind of just like, all right. But 39, we didn't see coming at all. At least 40, we knew it was going to happen. Even last year, nobody thought Sammy was going to be Gunther, to your point that you made in the last segment, right? Nobody saw that coming. There's got to be that moment where we're kind of like, what, right? And I think we're due for one of those, and I believe that's Cena winning the title.
Thanks for watching the Sports Hit List. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In fact, do it now.